Should have my phone in case they call me.
Oh, we're live on YouTube, live on Rumble. Good afternoon. Welcome to The State in History, a.k.a. TDH. I'm Xander.
Golden Loon.
And you, thank you so much for coming in and joining us. Today is, of course, is it Tuesday or Monday?
Tuesday.
Tears' Day, a.k.a. Tuesday, January, March 24th, 2026. This show is about interesting and important events that occurred throughout the annals of recorded history. Starting with the year 1199, King Richard I of England was wounded by a crossbow bolt while fighting in France, leading to his death on April 6. Telling me to image search this. It doesn't actually show him getting hit by the crossbow bolt, but I think there's something I wanted to show or something. But here we go. Richard Lionheart was struck by a crossbow bolt during a siege. Dying, he forgave his shooter and granted freedom, but after Richard's death, his men ignored his final wish and brutally executed the defender. Yikes. Oh. Well, at least he tried. But still, back in those times, leaders who led men to go fight and die for whatever cause actually fought and died with them. Here's an example. What a thought, huh? 1379 here, the First War of the Guelderian Succession ended when Matilda and the Hungarians were defeated by the Duchy of Jülich, forcing her to resign her rights to the Duchy of Guelders to her half-sister Maria's son William. And this is edited. It used to just say, end of Gueldry's war victory. It was a nothing article.
Yeah.
And then now it's this whole paragraph. 1401, Timur attacked the city of Damascus, second city of the Mamluk Empire. Though scholar and negotiator Ibn Khaldun's life was spared, the city was sacked and the Umayyad Mosque was destroyed. Moving on up to 1603, Scottish King James VI, son of Mary, Queen of Scots, became King James I of England in succession to Elizabeth I, uniting the English and Scottish crowns. So that's, we're starting to get the United Kingdom of England, Scotland, and Ireland.
Great Britain.
Yep. 1603, Tokugawa Ieyasu was granted the title of shogun, officially establishing the Tokugawa Shogunate, which would rule Japan until 1867. So 1603 to 1867. That is a long time. So that's over 200 years. Yeah. From the other source, it says Tokugawa Ieyasu was granted the title of shogun from Emperor Go-Yoshi and established the Tokugawa Shogunate in Edo, Japan. It's telling me to image search this. And Edo, do you happen to know what Edo is known today now?
No.
Tokyo.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here we go. Tokugawa Shogunate. He unified Japan by defeating his rivals, gained loyalty of the daimyo, became the sole leader or the shogun, moved the capital to Edo, which is now Tokyo, made daimyo spend every other year at the capital to keep them under control. Families kept as hostages when they returned to their land, ruled by law. Tokugawa Shogunate lasted until 1867. So that's brutal but fair. Holding the families hostage and such. But then again, if you know that going into those positions of power, and your family knows that, then you're knowingly signing up for that stuff. So I wonder if people knew that getting into that. 1629, the first game law was passed in the American colonies by Virginia.
The heck does that mean?
A game law, hunting deer, hunting this,
okay.
Maybe limits, or something.
Yeah.
1663, the province of Carolina was granted by charter to 8 lords proprietor in reward for their assistance in restoring Charles II of England to the throne. Here's an image of that shogunate right there.
Oh, yeah.
We just saw that. And here we go. This is the province of Carolina. So what's interesting is that the Carolina Charter of 1663 is within these red lines here, and this is just Carolina. And then the Carolina Charter of 1665, 2 years later, they had it going all the way down, halfway down the Florida Panhandle thing, or whatever not the Panhandle, but the dip part. And then up here, they just made it even substantially larger. And then now we have North and South Carolina and all that jazz. 1765, Britain enacted the Quartering Act, required colonists to provide temporary housing to British soldiers. So which requires the 13 colonies to house British troops. And we have something completely against that by law in our Constitution to not allow our government to utilize soldiers to basically take over the country on a family level.
On what level?
A family level.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you have, like, you know, 1 or 2 British soldiers housed in your house, and you didn't support that unless you killed them, which you'll get found out or whatever, it's just not going to end well, you know. And it's just completely trampling on people's rights within their own home, you know, that they paid for. And I mean, it's just so much wrongness in it. 1794 in Krakow, Thaddeus Kościuszko announced a general uprising against Imperial Russia and the Kingdom of Prussia, and assumed the powers of the commander-in-chief of all of the Polish forces. So it sounds like this is a Poland uprising for independence or something. Oh. 1815, Handel and Hayden Society of Boston was founded. I'm going to do a surface level scratch of that article right there, because I'm just wondering, you know, what is that? Remember that other one that we discovered? It was what was it, for emancipation or whatever? It was something for blacks or something? Like, you remember that one not weird, but like that weird name or whatever it was called? Like the Phoenix Club or whatever?
I can't remember, though.
The Phoenix Society? It was like a week ago, but...
Yeah, I just don't remember.
Anyway, this is the Handel and Hayden Society is a U.S. chorus and period instrument orchestra based in Boston, Massachusetts. Known collectively as H&H, their organization has been continual performance since its founding in 1815, the longest-serving such performance arts organization in the United States. So that's pretty cool. It's a performance arts organization. What else do we got here? 1828, Philadelphia and Columbia Railway was authorized, the first state-owned railway. All right. 1829, the Parliament of the United Kingdom passed the Roman Catholic Relief Act of 1829, allowing Catholics to serve in Parliament. That's good.
Yeah, I think so.
1832, Mormon leader Joseph Smith was beaten, tarred, and feathered in Huron, Ohio. That's terrible. 1837, Canada granted its black citizens the right to vote. That's great. That's good.
You know, just rolling back on the Catholics. In the 60s, the big debate was when President Kennedy was just going to run before he was elected, obviously.
Yeah, he was Catholic. That was
he was Catholic, and that was a big, can we have a Catholic as president? You know, so, wow.
Yeah, that was a whole thing there.
Yeah.
1853, the anti-slavery newspaper, The Provisional Freeman, first published in Windsor, Ontario, edited by Samuel Ringgold Ward and Mary Ann Shadd Carey, the first black woman publisher in North America. That is awesome.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
So there's a picture of the newspaper, and then right here we have that lady. All right, she doesn't look too happy, but then again, you know, the subject matter.
Well, you know, they didn't know how to pose for photos so well.
Well, I mean, plus this was like
smiling. I don't think was part of the requisite for photographing.
Yeah.
Look at Abe Lincoln. Did you ever see a smile on him?
No. 1854, President Jose. Yeah, there she is. President Jose Gregorio Montgas abolished slavery in Venezuela. Good. 1855, Manhattan, Kansas, founded as New Boston, Kansas. What? Oh, I guess the city, now known as Manhattan, Kansas, was founded as New Boston was its original. Okay. Like, you can see, I even have, like, a little note. What? Yeah. Like, so we all said what?
Yeah.
And then just now I just thought about it. 1868, Metropolitan Life Insurance Company formed. Great. 1870, a Chilean prospecting party led by Jose Diaz Gana discovered the silver ores of Caracoles in the Bolivian portion of Atacama Desert, leading to the last of the Chilean silver rushes and a diplomatic dispute over its taxation between Chile and Bolivia. Ooh, this doesn't sound like it ended well.
Awful.
Yeah. 1878, British frigate Eurydice was sunk. 300 people died, and the other source says killing more than 300 people.
What was it? The British what?
The British frigate HMS Eurydice. Okay. So it's a frigate, so it's a ship of war. Yeah. 1880, Tobacco Growers Mutual Insurance Company incorporated in Connecticut. I think that's what CT stands for. Connecticut?
Yeah.
1882, German scientist Robert Koch discovered and described the Tuberculosis, which caused tuberculosis, also known as Mycobacterium tuberculosis, establishing germ theory. So, spreading germs and all that stuff.
That late?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like...
I thought that was 100 years earlier.
Not necessarily. Like they,
Obviously not.
well, like during the Black Death, which spread because people really didn't wash their hands and all
Right.
that stuff. I mean, like they like if you're exceptionally dirty, you just rinsed it underwater or whatever. But using soap and all that stuff,
No.
that wasn't.
Scrubbing, no.
Yeah, like well, soap I don't think was invented. I'm not sure back then.
Probably not.
Well, did you use it on other things like maybe to wash clothes or something? Did they wash clothes?
Well, they obviously did wash clothes, but I don't know.
But with
how.
what?
I don't know.
Soap?
That's a good question.
Soap is usually made from animal fats. So, anyway, regardless, they eventually started washing their hands, which near the end of the Black Death and everything. Now they didn't figure out about germs or any of that, but they just knew, okay, if I did this with that,
helps.
this works. Okay, they didn't know why necessarily, but anyway, 1883, the first telephone call between New York City and Chicago. That's cool. 4 years later, in 1887, Oscar Strauss appointed the first Jewish ambassador from the U.S. to Turkey.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
1900, New York City Mayor Robert Anderson Van Wyck broke ground on a new underground rapid transit railway linking Manhattan and Brooklyn.
Ah.
Yeah. And, here we go. Perfect. I was just wondering if we need to catch up. So this is him actually with a pickaxe breaking ground, which it doesn't look like he's really digging that in there.
It's a photo shoot.
Yeah. All these people just... This cop is the most happy-looking guy. Like, look at this guy. He's like, hello?
The whole picture, is there anybody dressed to work in there? Anybody?
I don't know, but this guy is, like, in the middle of
picking up a
transforming.
shovel?
This guy's metamorphosing into something. Look at it. He's the only blurry one. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It's strange. What else do we got here? 1900 as well. Carnegie Steel Company was formed in New Jersey. Its capitalization of $160 million is the largest to date. $160 million in 1900. Like, you know what? I'm gonna look this up here.
As you should, yeah.
See, 160,000. Yeah, I know. I'm doing 1,000 million. 1900, 2026. Let's see. 160 million would equal 6 billion. Wait. Yeah, $6,224,476,190.48 today. Wow. And that was just its startup. Like, that's how much it had when it started up. That's ridiculous. 1905, a group of Cretians dedicated to Crete's union with Greece led by Eleutherios Venizelos, met at the village of Thracio and proclaimed a union in defiance of the great powers. That was the formation of I think the great powers became the central powers or something. I'm not sure, but it sounds like leading up to the First World War, because it was like a quagmire of politics for a decade or two, probably even longer. Just like all these promises and everything, and then eventually Franz Ferdinand got shot, and the whole story behind that is remarkable. How the assassin screwed up or whatever, and then he was just somewhere he had given up, and he was eating a sandwich at a corner bistro or whatever, and Franz Ferdinand with his motorcade just so happened to have diverted their actual route that went right by him eating the sandwich. So he's just like, oh, okay. So he just got up and just popped him because he was right there.
It's going by.
Yeah. It was
Really?
such
I didn't know any of that.
It's almost as if it was meant to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Anyway, what else do we got here? Census of the British Empire in 1906 showed the United Kingdom ruled 1/5 of the world's landmass. Oh, yeah, here's Carnegie Steel Company.
Yeah, we saw that.
Yep. And this is the British Empire at the time.
Look at that.
Yeah. British Co-Prosperity Sphere. So in South America.
I wonder what's with the different shades.
Well, I'm reading it. British Co-Prosperity Sphere. So British company. So all of their plantations, all of their farms and fields. So they
holdings,
have
all their holdings.
Yeah. Well, this is all the stuff like where they have all of their slaves and everything. All the spices and silks and whatnot from the Orient, China, Japan, Korea, all of this, and then the Indochina and everything. Then the British Empire itself is a lighter red. So there's, of course, the British Isles here, France somehow, and then all this straight line right in the middle of Africa, Middle East, India, and all that stuff. That's the British Empire. like this is all British stuff,
Yeah.
but to distinguish different things.
Yes.
And then West Britannia, whatever that is, that's just well, I guess in the West. That's North America here.
Right.
Is West Britannia. So
That goes all the way up above Greenland there, right up in the Arctic.
yeah, all the way up in the North Pole area. So.
Yep.
And what else do we got here? We have another image right here. Hold on a second. My computer's being retarded. Anyway, right here, this shows more than.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what year this is, but it shows France and Spain's. So all of red is in Britain, and then the blue is French. So there's France, and then they have French Algeria, French West Africa. Syria is French, and then there's French Indochina there, and then of course Madagascar, and then Spain is Spain, and then Morocco, Spanish Morocco, all that stuff, and then of course you have Cuba, and then France also has.
Of course, Spain.
What is that? Like, is that New Guinea, or Guinea-Bissau, or something right here over by Cuba?
I
don't know.
I
But
don't
France
know all
has
the
one.
islands.
Yeah, there's a little blue right here,
Yeah.
and then there's red on the other half.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, what else do we got here? 1907, the first issue of the Georgian Bolshevik newspaper Dro was published. 1910, 83 degrees Fahrenheit, highest temperature ever recorded in Cleveland in March. So much for this climate change and all that other malarkey that the left and they're trying to push. 1910, it's 80 degrees in Cleveland, Ohio. Like, how do you explain that if like we only have 2 years left? Greta Thunberg, you absolute toad. 1913, Dutch soccer forward Hugo de Groot scored twice as Netherlands scored the first ever victory over England, 2-1 in HBS in The Hague. 1920, first U.S. Coast Guard air station was established in Morehead City, North Carolina. 1921, air station all the way in 1920. That's pretty cool.
That is.
Yeah. 21, the 1921 Women's Olympiad began in Monte Carlo, becoming the first international women's sports event. That's nice. 22, the McMahon killings took place in Belfast. 6 Catholic civilians were shot dead, 2 others were wounded, and a female family member was assaulted. Police were suspected as being responsible, but no one was prosecuted. That's terrible. 24, Greece became a republic. That sounds awesome. 1 century ago, 1926, the Beehive in The Hague opened the first escalator in the Netherlands. And we were talking about, remember a couple weeks back or so, like, there was like some kind of brawl at the Beehive, and it turned out to be some kind of grocery store or something.
Yeah.
So, let's see if I get any images. Oh yeah, here we go. But these are more modern and such. But this has to be kind of like how in the Target out in Brea used to be. They have that escalator.
Still do, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, this is really interesting because they have one for the shopping carts too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like so you can like.
Well, you gotta get them up there somehow.
You gotta get them down too. Yeah. But yeah, this is the first escalator in the Netherlands, and if the Beehive is a grocery store, whatever store it is, it's that's pretty cool there. 27, Nanking incident. Foreign warships bombarded Nanjing, China, in defense of the foreign citizens within the city. Okay. 30, the first religious services telecast in the U.S. Occurred on W2XBS, New York City. 1932, the first U.S. radio broadcast from a moving train. Bell Baker, WABC from MD, Maryland. A moving train.
Ah.
That'd be cool.
How do you keep the signal there in that era? When they weren't nearly as strong and whatever.
Well, I mean, if you stay on track, you should be good.
Oh.
1934, U.S. Congress passed the Tidings-McDuffie Act, declaring the Philippines independent after a period of 10 years. But yeah, no, like, that is a good question. They must have had some kind of wireless something going on. Or maybe just like, maybe they're just going back and forth, or they have transmitters to boost, or something. I don't know. Like, that is a good question. Audience, let us know in the comment section. Did they have wireless, or did they like have some kind of cable system that some guy at the top, like, he unplugged one, he plugged in another, I don't know.
On a moving train.
Yeah, who knows? Moving on up to 1936, Detroit Red Wings beat Montreal Maroons 1-0 in 16 minutes 30 seconds of 6th period of overtime. Record Stanley Cup playoff game lasts 9 periods, 176 minutes. That is almost 3 hours. 6, 12, 18. 60 minutes per hour.
Yeah.
So 37, a bus carrying roller skater troop into Cincinnati from St. Louis crashed into a bridge abutment in Salem, Illinois, killing 21 people. That's terrible.
Yeah.
1937 as well, the National Gallery of Art was established by Congress. In 39, Wuthering Heights, film based on the Emily Bronte novel, directed by William Ryler and starring Muriel Overton and Lawrence Oliver, premiered in Los Angeles.
Wuthering Heights, that's a well-known story, I guess. I don't know anything about it other than the name.
Yeah.
I mean, it's endured.
And I don't know why I had this linked up here, so I'm gonna mark it. I'm gonna read this one here as well. The 1939 Liechtenstein Putsch took place. Approximately 40 members of the VBDL, starting from Nendlin, marched onwards towards Vaduz with the intention of overthrowing the government and provoking Liechtenstein's annexation into Germany.
So they're trying to annex themselves, the protesters.
Apparently.
Ah. They don't like being Liechtenstein.
Or well, they were obviously pro-Nazi or something, or maybe they were plants.
Or plants, yeah, that's always a possibility.
1942, U.S. government began moving native-born citizens with Japanese ancestry into detention centers under Executive Order 9066 with the intention of preventing homegrown espionage. We'll do it to the Germans too, you know. Like, I used to say. It was very easy, hindsight is 20/20. It's very easy, especially with how today's world is, to look back on something like that with our nose up. But somebody provided me a counter argument. Why didn't we do that to the Germans? Here as well. We should have. So now, like, it's so obvious a racial thing against the Japanese. Like the whole stuff behind it, unfortunately, is grounded in reality of warfare, but we should have done it to the Germans too, and then it would have actually fully made sense. It's one of those bullshit things. 1942, U.S. government began moving. We got that one. 44, 76 Allied officers escaped the Stalag Luft 3, the Great Escape. You know that movie, The Great Escape? Mm-hmm. During World War II, in an event later dramatized in the movie The Great Escape, 76 Allied prisoners of war began breaking out of the German camp Stalag Luft 3. 1944, Ardennes Massacre, or Ardentinian Massacre. We spoke about this yesterday. Nazis led by SS officers Herbert Kappler, Erich Prebisch, and Karl Haas executed 335 civilians and political prisoners in occupied Rome in retaliation for the previous day's Via Rasilla bombing that killed 33 Germans. That's terrible. 44 as well, RAF rear gunner Nicholas Acolmenides survived a jump from his Lancaster bomber 18,000 feet over Germany without a parachute. His fall was broken by pine trees and soft snow, and he suffered only a sprained leg. So this is one of these like wild. There's several of these stories out of World War II, like the guy in the ball turret, who not the ball turret, but the tail gun, and the tail just like came off, and he survived the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah. Like there's some crazy stories out of World War II here. What does it say? Yeah. Just bring up the Germans who captured him were so stunned they verified his story and gave him an official certificate. So, just because it's so outrageous.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has a certificate from the very enemies that he was, fighting. I mean, if you don't accept that as proof, I don't know what you want. What else do we got here? 1945, Operation Varsity, in the largest one-day airborne operation of all time, British, U.S., and Canadian paratroopers landed east of the Rhine in northern Germany. Hopefully that worked out better than Market Garden. 46, a British cabinet mission arrived in India to discuss and plan for the transfer of power from the British Raj to Indian leadership. So India is becoming more independent. I love that. That's one of the best things that came out of World War II was decolonization, even though there's still a lot of colonies and everything. 46, so we got that one. 1947, John D. Rockefeller Jr. donated New York City East Riverside to the United Nations. So that has to be where the headquarters is now. Yeah. We've been there.
Yes.
I've been in the United Nations headquarters. That's where I learned of the game Habbo Hotel. So I know you don't know about that, but it's well known online. At least it used to be, with Afro Duck and pools closed and all the old school memes. 1947, U.S. Congress proposed 2-term limitation on the presidency. Took until 47. That was because of FDR.
Yeah.
49, the 21st Academy Awards, Hamlet. Lawrence Oliver and Jane Wyman won. Walter and John Huston became the first father and son team to win awards. Now that's pretty cool. You know, even though the Academy Awards and all that stuff is all crap, you know, at least father and son, you know, mother and daughter, like that one that I'm not sure if we've covered the political one yet. There's this one article where it's like a mother and daughter both were like representatives for a state or something. So like not really a political team, but they're both serving.
Okay.
You know, and then like two brothers, you know, in baseball. I love it when families do things like this together. Is my point. In 1949, the SS police chief in the Netherlands, Hans Albin Rauter's request for a pardon was denied, and then he was executed by firing squad for crimes against humanity. Yeah, he was a chief SS and police leader in the Netherlands. So, 52, great demonstrations against apartheid in South Africa. Good. 1955, British Army patrols withdrew from Belfast after 20 years, finally. We also have the first seagoing oil drilling rig entered service, and that's what this, I believe, is. The very first actual ocean rig for oil and everything.
You think that's accurate? It looks dateable. That
yeah. The first
the
seagoing
construction of that building and stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like that.
Well,
during that era, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can see people in this photograph. You know, you take a photo of one of these oil rigs now, you can.
Oh yeah.
They're huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. 1958, Elvis Presley joined the U.S. Army. His serial number was 533-10761. Oh.
Broke a lot of hearts.
Yeah. Yep. It's telling me to image search this. Yeah, here we go. This is. I wanted to use one of these images for the thumbnail, but it's already a collage. So to put a collage in a collage doesn't make any sense.
No.
But this is like images right here.
Oh, you can't.
This is him going through his haircut, and then that's him in his dress uniform and everything. This is what I was thinking of using, but yeah, that's cool though. You know, 1959, Iraq withdrew from the Baghdad Pact. I don't know what that is, but I don't have the time to look it up. Got to keep going. 1961, New York Senate approved $55 million for a baseball stadium at Flushing Meadows. Which stadium was that?
I think that was for the Mets.
Okay. You know the name of the stadium?
Meadow Stadiums? Something like that. No,
Or Flushing Meadows.
Flushing Meadows.
Flushing Meadows.
I'm not
Mets.
sure.
I don't know.
That might be a football stadium too over there. I'm not sure. I don't know.
1961, the Quebec Board of the French Language was established. That makes sense. 1961 as well, Emile Griffith beat Benny Kid Parrott by technical knockout in the 12th round in welterweight boxing title fight at MSG New York City. Parrott died 10 days later, the first use of television slow motion replay. Wow, that's a right and a left hook right there. We're going from like, you know, okay, yada yada yada. He dies 10 days later, and then this was also the first. Hold up a second, somebody died. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Like that's a weird.
They don't tell the weight category, do they?
Welterweight right here.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, you just don't listen to me. You just like, you know, just.
Sometimes it's hard to keep up with you. My brain doesn't keep up with your speed reading.
I'm sorry.
No, go. We get it done.
Yep, 1964, the Kennedy half dollar was issued, so that's what this is.
Oh yeah.
We have a few of these here.
Yeah, I remember that.
1965, NASA Lunar Probe Ranger 9 struck the moon 10 miles or 16 kilometers northeast of the crater Alphonsus and transmitted high-resolution photographs of the lunar surface. That's pretty cool. 66, Selective Service announced college defraudments were based on performance. Deferments. Yeah, so sorry, I have some dirt on my screen. It looks like something else. 67, University of Michigan held its first teach-in after bombing of North Vietnam. So, like, what is that? What do you mean teach-in? Like,
well,
this from your time. Like, do you have any idea what that could possibly?
A teach-in. There would have been a sit-in.
A teach-in is similar to a general educational forum on any complicated issue, usually an issue involving current political affairs. The main difference between a teach-in and a seminar is a refusal to limit the discussion to a specific time frame or a strict academic scope. So basically, they just assembled in class and didn't leave. It's like a sit-in,
yes, yeah.
And they taught and they talked, you know. So, all right. You know what? I'm going to add this in the underbar section.
Yeah,
teach-in.
I've never heard of a teach-in.
There's one thing.
teaching with no holds barred.
Yeah, like there wasn't a limit. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, the class is going to be 2 hours. No, class is going to be as long as it's going to be for us to get our way.
So they're trying to eliminate, which they never do, indoctrination.
Or instill it.
Or instill it. They can go either way. That's why I say you can never eliminate it.
Yep. 72, Great Britain imposed direct rule over Northern Ireland by the government, or direct rule was imposed by the government of the United Kingdom under Edward Heath. What an idiot. 73, San Francisco 49er President Lou Spadilla proposed the NFL expands to 30 teams. Are they 30 teams now?
I'm sure there are.
Okay. 76, Argentine President Isabel Martinez de Perón was deposed in a military coup held by Jorge Rafael Vendela, and starting a 7-year dictatorial period self-styled the National Reorganization Process. Yikes. 77, Lily Tomlin was the first woman to appear solo in a Broadway show and appearing nightly, getting the Special Tony Award in 1977. It's cool.
Yeah, she was a talent in herself, on her own right.
Yeah. 77 as well, Morarji Desai became the Prime Minister of India, the first Prime Minister not to belong to Indian National Congress. Okay. We're getting some diversity.
Yeah.
79, Columbia flown on carrier aircraft landed at Kennedy Center. It's Kennedy Space Center. It's telling me to look that up here really quick. I guess just like... so the Space Shuttle Columbia.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so they flew it from the carrier.
Yeah.
Huh. Does it...
No. Columbia flown
on carrier aircraft. Oh, on the Boeing. Remember how it piggybacks?
Because I said they didn't fly it anywhere. They carried it.
Well, I was gonna say like, the Columbia, no space shuttle actually has like a flying jets or propellers or anything.
Right.
Actually, it's when it re-enters, it glides.
Right.
But it does have wheels because it lands. You can see that photograph. It has wheels. But I was wondering, wait a minute, could it be possible? But it's just too big to land on an aircraft carrier. Like if, but I think it's too big. But like I was just thinking, does it have like a tow cable? Like could you do that with it? Because that's how they arrest the.
I don't know.
The fighters are like a quarter of the size.
Idea.
I don't know. 79, Michigan State's Irvin Magic Johnson registered a triple-double with 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists as the Spartans cruised to a 101-67 victory over Penn State.
He was still in college.
Yeah. 1980, Nightline with Ted Koppel premiered on ABC. Now, we have a possible connection here, because after this, for whatever reason, this is how they have this written. I would have put the second one first, though. ABC's nightly Iran hostage crisis program was renamed Nightline.
Yeah.
So Nightline was initially about the Iran, hostage crisis, and then it developed into its own show outright, beyond that one topic. But I'm gonna
Nightline was originally put on the air exclusively for that one item.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. These were both in 1980.
Yeah.
So chronologically, it should say this was renamed Nightline, and then we have Nightline with Ted Koppel premiered on ABC because this is when it was renamed, and then they gave it a host. 1980, deposed Shah of Iran Mohammad Reza Pahlavi at the age of 60 arrived in Egypt for cancer treatment at Mahdi Military Hospital near Cairo. That must have sucked. Like, you get deposed and you're going in for cancer treatment.
Yeah, but nobody would take him in.
Yeah.
He had a hard time finding a place where he could just safely live out his life.
Yep. 1980, well, he was a terrible guy, right? Like, he did awful things. He was a dictator.
He was a dictator, and he was...
But he worked with us, from what I hear.
We were great friends, really close.
Yeah.
We supplied him all his military planes and everything.
And because he supplied us with all that oil. Oh.
Well, that and, he was our main connection in the Arab world, which wasn't all that friendly to us.
Yep. 80 as well, El Salvadorian Archbishop Oscar Romero was assassinated while celebrating Mass in San Salvador. That's terrible.
Now, the main city, and I forget, in Iran, I forget the name. Tehran, yeah, was more like Paris than it was like a...
Yeah, I've seen photos and
a
everything.
Muslim country.
It Middle Eastern
Very
countries.
progressive, very open.
No, I've seen countless photos of before and after. Middle Eastern countries before democracy, after democracy, and then after it's always a fucking war zone. It's horrible what we do. In 1981, Colombia dropped diplomatic relations with Cuba. Okay. 82, U.S. sub Jacksonville collided with a Turkish freighter near Virginia. Why are we getting so many submarine collisions? Like,
it's the first one we mentioned today.
Today, yes, but I mean, like yesterday we talked about, or like the other day, remember we talked about something, it's like some Russian submarine or Greek submarine or whatever hitting a U.S. carrier or something like that? I don't remember.
I don't remember exactly either.
But we've covered like 4 or 5 of them since the year began, at least. Submarines colliding with ships. 1982, Bangladeshi President Abdus Sattar was deposed in a bloodless coup led by Army Chief Lieutenant General Hussein Mohammed Ershad, who suspended the constitution and imposed martial law. That sounds like the beginning of a dictatorship there. 84, IOC agreed to 6-team exhibition baseball tournament in Olympics, the IOC International Olympic Committee. 84, Philip Glass's opera Akhenaten, based on the life and religious convictions of the Egyptian pharaoh, premiered at the Staatstheater in Stuttgart, Germany. Isn't a Stuttgart like the name of an aircraft or something?
Not that I'm aware of.
Stuttgart. It's obviously the name of a city here, but I've heard the word Stuttgart. Well, let's see. Like it's the name of a gun, or it's the name of a vehicle, or all I'm just getting is the city stuff. So I guess I'm thinking of the name of some video game item or something. The Stuttgarts. I don't know. Anyway, what else we got here?
Like a Luger or something like that. You're something close.
Yeah.
I'm making something up, but maybe something similar.
Luger, Loogie, Spitfire. I don't know. 85, the 5th Golden Raspberry, the Razzie Awards. Bolero won. I never heard of Bolero, but I didn't realize that the Razzies went all the way far that back. In 1980s, yeah.
Yeah, no, sure.
How long ago? Like, is the Razzies every year? So that makes it, since 1980. Like, if it's been every year. Well, if this is the 5th one, it's 1985, then that means 1980 was the first one.
Yeah.
85 as well, Norman Gifford made cricket ODI debut at the age of 44 versus Ost Sarajevo.
What? 44, he made his debut?
Yeah, apparently.
Well, we're going to give that guy kudos.
I don't know,
He picked the wrong sport, but, give him kudos anyway.
Well, that's probably why he was able to get in at such an old age, because the sport makes no sense.
He had to get in so he could hit something that has to bounce on the ground first.
Yeah. 1986, Men's International Football, or Professional Tennis Council on football. Men's International Professional Tennis Council announced Jimmy Connor's 10-week suspension and $20,000 fine for storming off the court after defaulting against Ivan Lendl at Boca Raton in Florida in February. So he was a sore loser, and then he just gets punished for it.
Ivan Lendl.
In 1986 as well, NASA published Strategy for Safely Returning the Space Shuttle to Flight Status. Okay, yeah, we're going to need something like that. We also have Suriname Army Captain Etienne Bonavarian was arrested for cocaine smuggling. That would do it. Yeah. 86, the Lusco gas explosion led to the new UK laws on landfill gas migration and gas protection on landfill sites. Yeah, like as these landfills and everything, like, all this stuff decomposes and all that stuff, you have to plan ahead for the eventual compacting of the ground and have all these, like, intricate pipe systems and everything to let the gas expel out through the surface. It's really intricate and really complex, actually. It's not just throwing shit into a pile. There's a lot of science behind it. So, 1989, Exxon tanker Valdez spilled 10.8 million gallons of crude oil in Prince William Sound near Tiktaalik, Alaska. So it sounds like it says
Exxon Valdez, right?
Yeah, Exxon tanker Valdez.
Yeah.
240,000 barrels or 38,000 M. What is M? Meters? Like how do you meterize oil? 38,000 M.
38,000
M. Like, it has to be metric, but for what? Like, what's the metric for barrels? Because it's saying 240,000 barrels, which equals 38,000 M. Anyway, of crude oil after running aground. 89, NBC rebroadcasted Mary Martin and Cyril Richards' 1960 version of Peter Pan for the first time since 1973. 1990, Indian troops left Sri Lanka. It says here from the other source, Indian intervention in the Sri Lankan Civil War ended when the last ship of Indian peacekeeping forces left Sri Lanka. Good. 91, banks reopened and liberated Kuwait. Alright. And 91 as well, Barcelona Dragons beat the New Jersey Knights 19-7 in their first WLAF game. Don't know what that is, WLAF? Like...
WL...
I'm going to look this up here. Barcelona Dragons, but it says
World
NY...
something.
Yeah, it says NY/NJ. How can you be New York and New Jersey? Those are two different things. WLAF. You're home for now. Okay, what is it? It's not telling me what this stands for. It's telling me about Lafayette in Tennessee. Okay, well, I'm not going to get anything. Anyway, 92, Space Shuttle STS-45, Atlantis 11, launched into space with the first Belgian astronaut on board, Dirk Vermont. Nice. 93, as well, South African President F.W.D. Klerk announced to South Africa's parliament the existence and abandonment of the former nuclear weapons program. And this was added to primary source. So South Africa had their own nuclear weapon program. Wow.
That they abandoned.
Yeah, well, they were part of Britain as well. So, you know, Britain was a nuclear power. And during decolonization, that's probably why. They pulled it out, retracted it. And South Africa, as now their own independent nation, cannot have access to nuclear weapons, as Britain does, though. 93 as well, Comet Schumacher and Levy 9 was discovered by Carolyn and Eugene Schumacher and David Letty at the Palomar Observatory in California. Cool. 97 as well, Australian Parliament overturned world's first and only euthanasia law. I wonder what that entailed.
Euthanasia?
Yeah. Well, I know what euthanasia is, but what's the law about? Like, you know, is it for or against? You know, like what did it detail involving that?
Gotcha.
What was the law about? And why? You know what? Let's see. I'm gonna do a surface level.
They're allowed to. You can choose to die. That's what it's about. You made it legal.
Okay, here we go. The Euthanasia Laws Act of 1997. No, you can also very well make it illegal. It's a law. It doesn't say a law for or against. It's just a law about. Let's see here. Australia to amend the Northern Territory Self-Government Act of 1978, the Australian Capital Territory Act of 88, and the Norfolk Island Act of 79 to remove the power of the territory parliaments to legalize euthanasia. The law was enacted in response to the enactment of the Rights of the Terminally Ill Act of 1995, NT, I guess Northern Territories, by the Parliament of the Northern Territory, which had legalized euthanasia in the territory. The act was repealed by the Restoring Territory Rights Act of 2022, which was passed by the federal parliament in December 2022. So they're still doing it. So like this, but this is against.
Sounds like they're repealing it.
Yeah,
repealing
you know, it, like legalese is just always confusing. So
yeah.
Australia euthanasia. So I'm gonna do that there. If you want to tell us your findings in the comments from that link, which links will be in the underbar of the description below after the live streaming section. 1998, a tornado swept through Dantan in India, killing 250 people and injuring 3,000 others. India has tornadoes? That's crazy. 98, Jonesboro massacre. 2 students at the age of 11 and 13 fired upon teachers and students at Westside Middle School in Jonesboro, Arkansas. 5 people were dead and 10 were wounded. And I'm not even going to read their names. I don't want to give them any fame. So, 98, Dr. Rudiger Marmola performed the first computer-assisted bone segment navigation at the University of Regensburg, Germany. That's cool.
Bone segment?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, a segment of bone. So, like, the computer assisted him with, like, bone segment navigation. I guess to, like, put it here or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
But he used computer, like...
I understand using the computer. I just don't understand what bone segment navigation is.
Well, I'm going to do a surface level scratch on this article here really quick. Let's see what I get. Rudiger Marmilla. Okay, here we go. Using a new navigation system he developed with Carl Zeiss. Okay, but is it a robotic arm or something? Is he... Oh, okay. Well, we might get something from this. We have a machine here. So, I think this is like to have a machine, like physically place the bones with precision or something. Yeah, hold on a second. There's a diagram. It remains small. Hold on a second. You know what? No, screw you and your security check. Well, you know what? Audience, tell us, in the comment section what this is. Anyway, what else do we got here? 99, The Matrix film, written and directed by the Wachowskis, starring Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, and Carrie Ann Moss, premiered. We've been talking about this.
Yes, we have.
Isn't Keanu Reeves like yeah?
What, isn't he what?
Well, no. Oh yeah, there it is, right here. For whatever reason, the S in Reeves was gone from the primary source last night. Now it says Reeves. Yeah. Yeah, no, and like the whole thing about the Matrix being the spiritual successor to what's it called? Terminator. John Connor being Jesus Christ.
I didn't even
all
know
that
they're
stuff.
written by the brothers.
I think, from what I've heard, you know what? Hold on a second. Who wrote the Terminator? Let's figure that out right now. Oh, James Cameron. Okay, well that's not the Wachowski brothers.
Oh man, that was such a great line. I loved it. Oh well.
Oh,
I'm glad I know different now.
Yeah, well, they might have still had something to do with it. I'm not sure, because like I'm not because this is I don't know. Anyway, 1999 Mount Blanc tunnel fire. 39 people died when a Belgian transport truck carrying flour and margarine caught fire in the Mount Blanc tunnel. And didn't we talk about this the other day or something? So, NATO commenced an air bombardment against Yugoslavia during the Kosovo War, the first attack by NATO on a sovereign country. It's pretty big right there. 99.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. Venezuela, 99, entered the Antarctic Treaty System. It's pretty interesting, the whole thing about Antarctica. Like, all this countries, all this time, so much violence and corruption and backstabbing and everything. Yet somehow, magically, everybody can somehow agree on Antarctica. Almost as if they're all playing a giant stage. 2002, 74th Academy Awards, A Beautiful Mind. Denzel Washington and Halle Berry won. Berry was the first woman of color to win the Best Actress award.
All right. For her.
Yeah. 2003, the Arab League voted 21-1 in favor of a resolution demanding the immediate and unconditional removal of U.S. and British soldiers from Iraq, during the invasion of Iraq. I wonder who that one was in opposition, and were they executed relatively quickly after this? Because this is the Iraq government saying, oh, we don't want to be invaded.
Yeah.
So who's the one who wants to be invaded? And are they still alive?
Yeah.
2005, a U.S. version of The Office, created by Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant, developed by Greg Daniels, starring Steve Carell and John Krasinski, premiered on NBC. And, of course, it was, even though, not Ricky Gervais, he was a good guy, I think. I don't know. I don't know who's good or who's bad anymore. Everybody's on the Epstein list. Everybody's a freaking SO and all that crap anymore these days. So, but the U.S. version at least was better than the friggin' limey version. 2006, long-term protests in Belarus were broken by police. Protests about what? 2006 as well, Pope Benedict the 16th added 15 men to the College of Cardinals in his first, in the first consistory of his pontificate. Consistory. Never heard that word before. 2007, the Australian Labor Party was reinstated after the New South Wales state elections. 2008, Bhutan officially became a democracy with its first ever general election.
Who is that?
Bhutan. The country of Bhutan. You haven't heard of them?
I have, but I don't know where they are or anything.
Neither do I, but I know they exist.
Great.
Yeah, at least I'm honest. 2010, Lee Kun-hee returned to Samsung Electronics Chief Executive Officer CEO position after his resignation back in April 21st, 2008. I only threw that in there because of all this corporate, awful stuff that's happening. Was this guy a good guy? Was he bad? Should we pay? Sometimes
after he came back, maybe they said, "Hey, we need you."
Yeah.
Look at
Tim Cook.
Apple.
Yeah, Tim Cook.
Well, yeah, but not Tim Cook. Tim Cook took over for the founder.
Yeah.
And then they brought him back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at Bob Iger. With Disney. He's been brought back, 75 times now? 2010, the World Health Organization appointed British singer Craig David as a goodwill ambassador against tuberculosis on World Tuberculosis Day. Well, I guess apparently today is Tuberculosis Day. I mean,
I guess so.
Like, rest in peace, Arthur Morgan. 2012, African Union deployed 5,000 strong force with the aim of catching or killing warlord Joseph Kony. 2014, Ukraine withdrew its forces from the Crimea. 2015, German wings flight en route between Barcelona and Dusseldorf crashed in the French Alps, killing all 150 on board, and an apparent pilot mass murder-suicide, according to our other source. So, he was apparently afraid to die alone, so he made it not happen that way. Very unfortunate. 2015, NASA's Opportunity rover became the first to complete a Martian marathon. So already, like, you know, we're already getting beaten
Martians
by
are landing?
Martian marathon.
The Martians won it, so that means the Martians are here.
Well, no, like the rover is not Martian. So
I know.
yeah. Well, no, I'm saying, like, already robotics have now taken the record away from humans to be the first Martian marathon. You know, now we can only claim it if we say the first human Martian marathon. Now we have to have, you know, a hyphen, an asterisk, you know, like another syllable, you know, so that way we can have something. 2016, Bosnian Serb politician Radovan Karadzic was found guilty of genocide, crimes against humanity, and war crimes during the 95 Srebrenica massacre and sentenced to 40 years imprisonment. We also have former English international footballer Adam Johnston was sentenced to 6 years in prison for horrible things with a schoolgirl. I'm not even going to read on air, but yeah, disgusting. 2017, U.S. President Donald Trump and Republican Party forced to pull their attempt to repeal Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, after internal opposition. You know, it's just whoever is for Obamacare needs to be exiled to North Korea so that way they can celebrate true communism in its rawest form. So, 2018, U.S. conducted its first ever drone strike against Al-Qaeda militants in southern Libya. Alright, so now we're using drones. 2018, Australian batsman Cameron Bancroft was caught on camera rubbing the match ball with an object during the third cricket test in Cape Town, resulting in an infamous ball tampering scandal. Yeah, they cheat too.
Spitball.
2018, hundreds of protesters shut down special meeting at Sacramento City Hall investigating police shooting of Stephen Clark. Why would you shut that down? You know, well, then again, they're investigating themselves, so they're not going to find anything. We also have tens of thousands attended the March for Our Lives rallies held in Washington, D.C. and around the world to protest gun violence. Well, you know, you really want to protest gun violence, strap yourselves, and if somebody starts, you know, firing, clap them. You know, that's the only way, because freaking, you know, criminals don't want a difficult victim, you know? And if the entire populace is armed, nobody's going to pull out a gun and just start banging people because they're going to get riddled. And then we'll have peace. You know? 2019, two-time U.S. League MVP Mike Trout signed the biggest contract in North American sports history, a $426.5 million 12-year extension with the Los Angeles Angels. Jeez. Good Lord. We also have Margot Hayes completed her third LA Plus for 5.15A graded climb. Papachulo at Oleana, Spain, becoming the first woman to complete the 9A Plus trilogy. Nice. No idea what the hell a 9A Plus is, but, you know, cool.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, it's some kind of climbing, mountain lingo and all that jazz. Do we have any comments on... no, we don't. 2019, this one's going to be wordy here. U.S. Attorney William Barr summarized reports submitted by Special Counsel Robert Mueller, the Mueller report, in a letter to Congress stating, quote, investigation did not establish that members of the Trump campaign conspired or coordinated with the Russian government in its election interference activities, end quote. And another quote, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein and I have concluded that the evidence developed during the Special Counsel's investigation is not sufficient to establish that the president committed an obstruction of justice offense, end quote. Well, when are they going to string Mark Zuckerberg by his thumbs for having absolute obvious influence on election? What are you going to say?
I think we had that yesterday.
Yeah, we did. Well, the past 2 or 3 days we've been talking about the Mueller report.
Yeah.
So, 2020, China's Hubei province, the original center of the Kung Flu outbreak, eased restrictions on travel after nearly a 2-month lockdown. Yeah. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi ordered a 21-day lockdown for the country's 1.3 billion people to address, Kung Flu. We also have Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, may you rest in peace, announced the postponement of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic and Paralympic Games to the summer of 2021 due to the global Kung Flu pandemic. Yeah, now what happened to him? I just remember that was the 6th of July.
He was a good man.
Yeah, he was. He was doing so much good for Japan. It was remarkable. 2023, Africa's first centralized biodiversity biobank, South Africa, collecting more than 1 million biodiversity samples, opened in Pretoria, South Africa. Nice. We also have a chocolate factory explosion in West Reading Borough, Pennsylvania, killed at least 4 people and injured 10, with 3 missing.
Jeez, chocolate.
Death by chocolate, literally.
Yeah.
Which now I'm, that's not.
Where Hershey's is, Pennsylvania.
Oh, so probably it was a Hershey's chocolate factory, maybe.
Who knows?
So, well, you know what? I'm gonna.
Could be though.
Well, I wonder, would they not say Hershey's because Hershey's paid them not to say that? Pennsylvania Chocolate Factory in West Reading, Pennsylvania. Natural gas pipe leak and explosion. 7 deaths down, more than just 4. Kills at least 4 people, so 7. So, anyway, I'm gonna add this into the underbar section. Death by chocolate. Yeah, well, not to make light, because people died, but I mean, if I don't use that as a title,
yeah,
then I should be ashamed for life because, what better time would you have to utilize that line? And yeah, if anybody could let us know, was it Hershey's or was it some other company?
It wouldn't have been, it would have been just a chocolate manufacturer selling it to different companies.
Maybe. I just want to know, who owned it?
The fact that,
2023 supercell storm produced powerful EF4 tornado in the Mississippi Delta, which stayed on the ground for more than an hour and over 170 miles, killing 26 people. Wow. That's not natural. Obviously that's some kind of weather dominator thing, and somebody's just moving it with a joystick. Oh, let's just kill a whole line of people like they're playing SimCity. You don't know what our government has. You don't know what technologies.
You have no idea. You can't say that's true though.
Well, all I can say is I know in the 1930s, 1940s, lithium batteries were a thing, and it wasn't until 60 years later before we, the people, finally got access to it. Granted, the technology was far more advanced, but it still took that long before it even got to us. 1970s, they did cloud seeding, which might have extended the monsoon season predictably by another 6 months during the Vietnam War. That was 50 years ago.
And now you're trying to connect a joystick maneuvering storms?
Yes.
That's a stretch.
You have no idea what technology the system has. Neither do I. So, 2024, Brazilian police arrested 2 politicians and a police chief for the notorious murder and its cover-up of politician and activist Marielle Franco in 2018. Took a while, but at least they got somebody. 2 years ago, Senegal presidential election was won by opposition figure Bassirou Diomaye Faye only 10 days after he was released from prison. Well, that's pretty interesting. Kind of has some similarities to Trump in his own way, like that. Because did Trump serve any time in jail, or because he was arrested, right? They got his mugshot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. He was booked and released.
Okay.
So no, he didn't spend jail time.
All right. And just this time last year, The Atlantic published the Trump administration accidentally texted me its war plans, claiming U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth included a journalist in a group chat detailing airstrikes in Yemen. I heard about this.
Oh, yeah. That was a screw-up.
Wow.
It's supposed to be, top security, and somehow this journalist got included in it.
Well, because, all these high-level people in the government, they're all boomers, and they don't know this newfangled, rectangle technology phone thingamajig. And back in my day, all we had was a hoop and a stick and a dream.
I have a feeling you're mocking me. I just feel that possibly. Maybe. Now I'm going to give you a knuckle sandwich.
Who else talks like that? Anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis, and we can only bring you a portion for, from two sources. Like, the past hour, look at all that. And we only got, covered, what, 30, maybe 40%? Probably 50. I'm not sure.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Anyway, for all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander.
Golden Loon.
And you are you. And until you catch us next time for your dose of Passive Events Daily, we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. Please check the underbar. Don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles! I am going to